Hey, you guys. Happy Wednesday evening. I hope that you are all doing well this week. I wanted to jump on here. We actually originally and on our current schedule have an event planned for this coming weekend, but things have changed a little bit. And so that was one of the things we were going to talk about tonight was the upcoming event, the Ride for Autism event at Top Trails. But I did want to go ahead and let you guys know that that event is actually being rescheduled for July 16th through 20th. Hey, Larry, hope you're doing good. We love you too. Thank you so much for donating to the Little Dirty Kids. But I did want to let you guys know that just first off the bat, because that was kind of the screenshot that we had used for the promo for this live, because that was our next event, that they're expecting some inclement weather really from Thursday through Saturday night, late, early Sunday morning in really the whole state of Alabama, and high wind gusts of up to 50 to 70 miles per hour, tennis ball sized hail, obviously rain, thunderstorms. And so as much as we all are willing to brave the elements for these events, just for the safety of all the guests and the staff, we don't really think that being out there in campers and tents and everything is the right call for this weekend. So that has been rescheduled for July 16th through 20th. And we'll be doing everything that we originally had planned, I believe, is being moved to that event on that date. So that does alleviate a little bit of our schedule, because we had 3 events back to back, 1 week off, and then 1 more event. So it does free us up a little bit. So to say that I always love to do the events, but we do get a little bit more breather room this weekend. So I'm not upset about that. But wanted to let you guys know that we had an awesome kickoff weekend last weekend at Boggs and Boulders down there in Andalusia, Alabama. It was amazing. The park was awesome. I think a lot of people really liked the holes. They were brand new holes that were done at the boat pond or the mud flats, is kind of what that area is described as. And so if you're familiar with that park, we had so many people comment on just how amazing it was that they had cleared all those acres and were able to dig those holes. And so it was a lot of fun. We got to do a lot of runs. It did not take that long. We were able to run multiple holes at one time. And it was just, it was such a fun event to watch. Everybody was safe, didn't have any issues. And we all walked away, and we were able to hand out a lot of money and a lot of trophies. And I think it was a successful weekend. We gave out tons of stuff Friday night at the Boogie Bingo. There was a scavenger hunt that weekend, and Becky won it. She didn't put her last name, so hopefully she picked up her prize up there at the office. But it was just a really, really fun weekend. We had some knockout racing and barrel racing on Friday night. And so those guys took home some money and did an awesome job. And really, it was a great way to kick off the year. A really good turnout and a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody who came out and enjoyed that with us. We got a lot of people with points on the board already for King of the Deep. And I want to go over a couple of questions that we had about that, about our rules and about the points and about how that works. And I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. But real quick, before we start talking about our next event and those rule clarifications and class clarifications, I want to give a shout out to everybody on the screen right now for being our sponsors for 2025. Of course, our title sponsor, Super ATV. They're also the powered by for the Little Dirty Kids this year. So big shout out to everybody over there. It doesn't matter what we need. They keep us rolling. So, and we might need something soon, because the machine made a little clanky clank noise the other day. So we'll see what that looks like. But so Super ATV, Specialized ATV, Vessel Power Sports, and MSA Off-Road Wheels. Those are kind of our top sponsors this year. And of course, everybody down on the bottom of the screen, we've got Dirty Stripper Chemicals, Orofab Off-Road Outlaws, Used Power Sports LLC out of Reedsville, North Carolina, Aftermarket Assassins, Gator Waders, Carolina Custom ATV, Bruce Klein, Turner Cycles, Mike's Motorsports, Monster Rigging Off-Road, Rugged Radios, Murray Power Sports, and VP Racing. So everybody that's part of King of the Deep on our team, we thank you. All right, so let me just jump in. All of the winners for this past weekend are on the website, or on the Facebook page, and they are on the website. They're not on. I just need to publish it. All the points, updates, and all of that will be on there. If they're not I don't know if I published it or not. I can't remember, but if not, I'll make sure that they're up there tonight. So if you want to see kind of where you stand on all that, you'll be able to find all that right there. So let's talk about our next event, which is going to be stop number 2 for the series. This is, it's going to start a week from tomorrow. So March 20th through the 23rd at the Graveyard in Jasper, Florida. That is a really, really, really fun park. It's a fun park to ride. It is, it's not as big as some of the other ones, but it's the favorite park for a lot of our racers. And funny enough, it ends up being the favorite course or the favorite hole for many of the racers. Like I ask them, and we go a lot of places, and I ask them, like, what was your favorite one this year? And I will tell you, like, at least 7 out of 10 times, they always say the Graveyard. They love it. It's more of it's a hybrid with a little bit of like bounty hole, and it's got a few different pits and one kind of curved bounty hole area. But then a lot of it is also course style. So there's a little bit of obstacles, some tires, nothing crazy. We're not talking about like when you think the bounty course and you think like Mike and what he does with all the logs and all the wild stuff. This is not like that. Okay. It's nothing that, that you driving sensibly are going to tear anything up too crazy or, anything like that. This is mild. There's some tires, there's some trees to go around, tight curves, hills, dips, things like that. But nothing that your machines should not be able to handle. The course, I will get it measured out. We'll give you guys an update next week because we maybe need to tweak some stuff now that it's been a year since we've been there. But it ends up being right around 2,000 feet long. And it is a lot of fun. Most people complete it within, 3 minutes is more than enough time. Most people are completing it in less than a minute and a half. So it is a lot of fun. We are super, super excited about that. We'll give you guys updates next week as we can. I think we're heading down there on Sunday to kind of just start working with all the equipment on that course area. One thing about that event is that it does, if you were here at our last event and the couple before that, you would know that we're running multiple holes at one time, which makes the day go much faster. But at the Graveyard, because of the way that the course is set up, we can only run one machine at a time. You actually enter and you exit through basically the same entrance. So driver B cannot start until driver A completes the course and comes back out. So it makes it a little bit of a longer day. So I would just prepare for that. One good thing is people don't typically get stuck on that. Sometimes we have an issue in the bounty hole area, but usually it's not usually an issue. So just be prepared, kind of plan on it being a little bit longer than the first one was, and just know that going into it. I will say, let's see here. I'm going to show you guys. Let me share this screen real quick. Here we go. All right. So all this information is on our, what happened here? All of this information is on our website as well. But I wanted to let you know and kind of go over it with you here. Here we go. Okay. So we are looking for pricing for the Graveyard. 11 and under is free. There's no charge for camping. There's no charge like per ATV or anything like that. First responders and military is half price cash at the gate, as long as you show your proof of service. And then they also, that's first responders, police, firefighters, EMT, stuff like that. So pricing is going to be $50 per person for if you want to get in on Thursday. And if you come Friday through Sunday, it's going to be $40 per person. And then if you come Saturday only, it's $20 per person at the gate. $30 per person at the gate. If you do buy your tickets online and you want to go in on Thursday or Friday, you can save $10 for purchasing your ticket online. But if you do an online ticket, just go ahead and print that out before you get to the park. The service is not that great at the park, and sometimes people have a small issue with getting their tickets to pull up on their phone. So all the pricing, I just went over that. It's either $50 to come in Thursday, $40 to come in Friday, $30 to come in Saturday per person, and you can save $10 by buying your tickets online ahead of time. Let's see what else we've got. All right. And then, like I said, doesn't matter how many ATVs you have or anything like that. I will say that the Graveyard it's built and they do allow ATVs, side-by-sides, Jeeps, and small tire trucks. And they say that basically it doesn't really matter. All the vehicles are welcome, but just know that the large tire trucks need to be limited to the mud hole and the camping areas. They've got like some really good trails and some ponds and things like that for you to like drive through. And in fact, one of the ponds has an alligator. So if you're lucky, you might get a sighting of that alligator. But yeah, so, so you guys I know sometimes people want to bring different things to ride. This park's very accommodating with all that. So, and our schedule here, what we're doing is Thursday night, we've got a VIP group ride for anybody who's already in on Thursday. And I think we're going to do that like 8 or 9. The time may be a little bit fluid depending on who's there and kind of what time we want to get started. And then Friday afternoon, we've got the barrel races and the blindfold fiasco. Saturday, we're going to do the same thing that we did at Boggs. We're going to start the registration for the kids at 8:30. We'll do a driver's meeting for them at 9:30. We'll start their event at 10. And then the King of the Deep, you can see registration for them will be just like it was before. King of the Deep will kick off at 12, and then we'll have a DJ and foam party. We have 7 on there. Hopefully we can knock all the racers out with King of the Deep, go ahead and do awards and get that foam party started by 7. We have had a time change, so it does get dark a little bit later, but that's kind of our plan. There are going to be plenty of vendors there for food, all kinds of like merch and stuff that you can buy. There's going to be a service repair parts vendor there. Gator Waders vendor's going to be there, Doug with Dirt Road Syndicate. So we're going to be all set with that. And then of course, just all of the information on the payouts are here as well. And then if you guys have any questions about our rules or our classes, you can find those at kingofthedeep.com. So that kind of gives you the rundown as to what to expect for next weekend. Time-wise, I will say last year that park, it pretty much, we hit max capacity. And I would say that the interest is from everything that we're seeing online. It appears to be that we have already pre-sold more tickets than last year, and the online interest seems to be pretty high as well. I will say this: if you want to guarantee that you can get in, it would behoove you to buy a ticket online ahead of time. With that being said, if you do not buy your ticket online ahead of time and you are coming to race with us, don't worry. Just send us a message. We're going to make sure that we get our racers in there, our drivers in there. So I know some of you guys kind of come through the night and things like that, but we're going to get you guys taken care of. But just know that it's going to be full. I mean, we hit max capacity last year. We really couldn't take anybody other than the ones that had messaged us to let us know that they were coming. So we are kind of looking at a very likely scenario like that again. I do have some tickets here that we want to give away to get into the graveyard event. So we'll do I'll probably put up a post and we'll do a giveaway, maybe run that through the next day or two and see if we can get some people that would like to go and see if we can give you guys some free passes to get in next weekend at the graveyard. Let's see. Let's do that right now, you guys. Here. How about the first person to guess how much money was paid out last weekend at Boggs and Boulders will get a free entry ticket to the graveyard. So if you're already planning on coming and you want to shoot any guesses, put them up in the comments. And I'm talking about paid out to King of the Deep, Little Dirty Kids, all the classes with King of the Deep, and then also the knockout and the barrel racing. If you guys can tell me exactly, and I added it up, let me find my paper, exactly how much we paid out for all of those, then you can get a free ticket next weekend. So just put that in the comments if you have any idea. I will say we advertised paying out $13,500 plus. So I would start there because we paid out more than that. Let me know what you guys think. And then wanted to touch base on some of the rules and things like that. So I had someone ask me this week. They asked if they paid for their run, do they actually have to enter the hole? Do they actually have to race in order to receive their points? And I know different people do that differently. But for us, you do have to at least pull up and trip the timers. You have to be on a machine that fits the class in order to get your run, and you have to trip the timers. Now, if that means that you pull up and you just like literally trip the timers and then you say, hey, I'm done, and then we mark your distance at 10 feet into the hole, 2 seconds, that's fine. That makes you eligible for your points. But you cannot just register and then not do the run and forfeit the run and receive your points. The reason for that is a couple of things. You have to basically be on a machine that's eligible. Like if you broke your machine and your machine's not fixed, then you could just come and sign up with no machine and basically buy your way into your points. And that's not really what we are trying to do. Also, now that we allow people to pre-register, and we also allow for you to have a driver representative stand in for you at the driver's meeting, we essentially, you could not even come to the race. You could just register online, and then you could send your buddy who's there racing for you to stand in for you at the driver's meeting and then forfeit your run. And then you would get your points in that scenario. If we allowed that, you would get your points and you weren't even there at the race. So it's really for those kinds of reasons. Like, you have to actually physically be on a machine that fits the requirements of the class, and you have to trip the timers. And then, so that's the deal with getting the points like that. And then somebody else asked about tire sizes. And I will say this, there's no tire size restriction in the Honda classes. So if you're racing a Honda, don't worry about that. It does not make a difference as long as it fits the parameters of the particular Honda class, the solid rear axle or the independent rear suspension. But on the other classes, like the women's 35 and under, the small tire NA is 32 and below, small open is 35 and below, medium is 45 and below, and unlimited is anything goes. So for those classes, you do have to meet the tire size on that. Because we have gotten to have so many racers coming in many classes, and because we allow people to race up in the classes if they choose to do so, some people will be using the same machine for multiple classes. And then what that means is that if they come in and and they don't have the tires on it that they're going to use in a larger class, for example, then we would not be able to go ahead and measure those tires before the race start, for example. So we are fully expecting everybody to race with good sportsmanship, and if your tires are correct or not, whether they are measured by our staff or not. And so at this point, all I can say is that we are going to be doing random tire size measurements. It may be everybody. It may be, think of it like your job doing a random drug test or a random breathalyzer or something like that. Like, we're going to pick, we're going to do it. And it might be in the pit area. It might be when you pull up to the line, or we might not do it at all. But if you get found without the correct tire size and we have already closed the driver's meeting, then you will not get your money back. And you also may or may not be able to, let's say your tires are too big for the medium and you really should be the unlimited, and we measure you when you pull up to the line for the medium. If you may lose your run and not get your money back, and you may not be able to be allowed to go into the unlimited at that point because we've already closed registration. I've already done the run orders, all that. That'll just have to be something we decide, I guess, when that comes. If you want to challenge someone's tire size, like if you're looking at that in the pit area and you know that they're running in the medium, let's say, for example, and we had the opportunity, and you come to us and you say, hey, can you check those tires over there? I don't think that's correct. Then there's no challenge cost or anything like that to do that before the race starts. The challenge or protest fee comes into play when we're already racing. And let's say that you want to, I don't know, what's the scenario, Steve?
Somebody's tires are too big.
Somebody's tires are too big for a particular class after the racing has started. Or even it's something else. It couldn't even be tire. It could be, it could be anything. I mean, anything you want to challenge. Hey, Chad, how are you doing? Hope you're feeling okay and not too bumped up or bruised up. So the protest fee after the race has started is $200. And if you are found to be in the right, then that money goes back. Is that how we did it? If the protester is found to be wrong, then you're not out any. If the protester is found to be wrong, then you lose your money for protesting. If the protester is found to be right, then you get your money back, I think is how it is. I'll make sure and I'll clarify that. But yeah, so basically we want to be sure that people are racing with integrity, with good sportsmanship, that you guys are doing what you know is right. And what?
Bottles on and off. I'm going to talk about that too.
Okay, well, you need to talk about that because I don't know about that.
Basically, they can have their bottles on, they have to have the lines on the hook.
Okay, so for the NA classes, which would be the small tire NA and also the women's only NA class, our rules say that you cannot have the bottle on the machine. It's always been no additives for that NA class, and it's always been that your bottle had to be turned off prior to last year.
There's been people say somebody's cheating,
and then we've had situations where people were alleging that others were cheating in that class, that they did not have the bottles turned off, that there was, whatever the scenario is. And so we made that rule last year so that you had to, we said that you had to remove the bottle in its entirety. But we are having so many racers and so many runs and people using the same machines for different classes and
in the small tire,
and they're running the small tire NA and the small tire open. And if you were at our race last weekend, then you saw that we're running those. I mean, we're running you guys as fast as we can. Nobody wants to be there all day. You guys, you don't want to be there all day, but
fans loved it. Crowd was great.
Yeah. I mean, but those of us who are working, I mean, it's a long day for us too. And the spectators who watch it, they want to see the action. So we're trying to keep things going as fast as we can. And so because of that, we said, look, just make sure your bottles they can be on the machine, but make sure that they are disconnected. And our pit official for the small tire NA line and our pit official for the women's only NA line are making sure that those are disconnected for you. So that is something that they're going to be checking and making sure that and it really doesn't take that long to switch it over, you guys. I mean, I'll say I know that Taylor Bonnet was like running both of them, and I mean he would I think there was 2 different times on his first, or maybe it wasn't, maybe it was the small and then maybe it was like the medium unlimited. I know that there were 2 times where he was supposed to be in 2 places basically. And he did it. He got out and like went right back around, did whatever he needed to do on the machine, hooked it up real quick. It didn't take him any time. You just have to be ready and expecting it. Hey, Candace, hope you're doing good. You just have to be ready and on top of your game. And if you're there with people that can help you, whether that's keeping up with what place we're on and letting you know when your time's coming up, or whether that's helping you like maybe line up another machine for you or whatever, take advantage of your teammates or the people that are there to support you. We don't really make a big deal out of people being in the pit area. You guys have an extra help back there. We kind of let you guys kind of have who you need to have back there to help you. So take advantage of that. But I just wanted to touch on those topics. We're really going to try to be sure that everything, as far as I know, everything was fine as far as like tire sizes and bottles and everything like that. I know that the bottles were good because I know that the pit officials checked it, because we actually ask each other that on the headset too. Make sure the bottle's disconnected, and we kind of remind each other, but they were really good about that.
We had some things with the counters going up. We didn't get those used the way we had planned on. So
yeah.
Sorry about that.
So the counters on the start line, I think Dan might have had his ready to go and been a little bit more accurate with his.
That was the first one. New pit officials, new ideas.
Yep. We had new pit officials, and that was a new process. And so, I know that on the one hole, it wasn't really getting counted up like it needed to be. But I mean, at the end of the day, you guys, like, you did really well. And I think that we did really well. And it's always, a growing thing. So this race will be different because, like I said, only one person can go at a time. So there's not as many moving pieces to have to watch as far as multiple holes. But then the one after that, when we head to Busco Beach, we will be doing multiple holes again. So
140 some runs in less than 3.5 hours.
Well, some of that was kids. So yeah. I mean, it was good though. And had we been able to, so we made the call to run the unlimited and the medium in the same hole. That was not the original plan. The original plan was to run the full length of both of those hole sections on each side. And we were going to do it like we did the small tire, and it was going to be an unlimited. And we could have probably finished at least 45 minutes to an hour quicker. But ultimately, we were concerned about the way that the hole on the right, the first portion of the hole, lined up with the second portion of the hole. It was not totally straight on, and we going at the speed that some of those machines would have gone on at, we were uncomfortable with the with that slight angle. And safety is a big thing for us. So ultimately we made the call to switch everybody over to the left-hand hole. And what that meant was that we had to do them consecutively instead of concurrently. And so it did take a little bit longer. Could have been quicker. But that is kind of what we have for you guys tonight. Let me know if you've got any questions. Nobody guessed. None of you guys guessed. I guess none of you guys want free passes to go to the graveyard. So I'll put a post up on our Facebook page and see if we can get you guys to play along and give out some free tickets for that event, because I do have some free tickets right here. And otherwise, is there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, sorry about the Top Trails event. We wanted to be there.
Yeah, we're bummed about that.
Safety first. The winds, thunderstorms, and the fact that the hill climb would not be possible with the rain and bad weather. We just made the decision to do it at Jeep Fest. Yeah, I think it'll be good. Even if it didn't end up being anything but rain, it is hard to do that hill climb when the rocks are very wet. And again, just safety wise, not just for those drivers, but for everybody in the park, last place you want to be is in a little camper when a storm like that pops up. Although I will say they have a lot of bunkers out there. That's probably the safest place to be. Yeah. But it's not, we all like having a good time and we all are willing to be daredevils and risk the elements, but we just felt like that was the right call for this coming weekend. The park is still open. Yeah. If you do want to be a daredevil and go out there and ride, that's fine. But we're not going to be there, and we're not going to do the hill climb or the kids race or the concert on Saturday. It's just normal riding, normal pricing, normal all that stuff. If you haven't heard from the park about any reservations that you had or anything like that, then just reach out to them, give them a call during like normal office hours tomorrow, and they'll get you taken care of. But yeah. Thanks to all the racers and everybody who showed up to race. It was a great time. Everybody showed a lot of good sportsmanship and raced really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad Chad is doing okay. I think Emma's okay too. We just had, she came down a little bit hard and I think bumped into her handlebars a little bit. So she might have a little bump or bruise. I'm sure Chad is feeling it a little bit.
He's feeling 39 today.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great show as always from everybody. And we appreciate you guys coming out and supporting it. And
getting ready for the
event.
You guys should be doing the same.
Brian said, what was the question to guess? The question to guess was how many dollars total were paid out to all the competitions winners for the weekend, Friday and Saturday.
What was the total cash payout for the weekend at Boggs this past weekend? Total cash
winner
payout.
Gets a free ticket to the graveyard.
Now, keep in mind, we gave away cash. We gave away lots of trophies. We gave away lots of prizes, boogie bingo, the knockout racing, the barrel racing,
the scavenger hunt,
the bounty hole, and the scavenger hunt this past weekend at Boggs.
Yeah, we had a great turnout for the bingo. I don't know if you
yeah, we had 50 people, I'd say, at least out there for bingo.
Yeah, and they stayed.
More. They came more.
Yeah, they kept joining us. They were hanging out, dancing, having a good time. Then we let this one guy do karaoke after.
He killed it.
He did a good job. They don't always do a good job when you do karaoke.
I told him before I gave him the microphone, if you're bad, I'm going to cut you off. And he sung the whole song.
Yes, I can. Yep. Are you doing a peace sign? Brian said 14,600. It was not quite that much, Brian.
Close.
Nobody's going to play along with you though. So
it's close. You're the closest guest so far, Brian.
I will look. I'm going to put it up on Facebook. I'm going to put a couple of them because I do have several of these to give away, and we'll play a little game on there for you, and that way nobody can argue with me over who wins. And
make sure you're liking, sharing the videos, please.
Yep. All right, you guys have a great evening, and we will see you guys. We'll do another live next week. I don't know at night. It'll kind of depend. We're going to get down there and we'll get some. We'll try to get some drone videos of the course, hopefully. And Braxton said 13.9. It was more than 13.9, but less than 14.6. So
Braxton's trying to get another win.
I know. He's like, all right, I'm gonna win these tickets. That's what I'm gonna win.
That's it.
But we'll do a live next week. We usually can't go live from inside the park. We have to like drive out and go to the main road.
I remember that. Yeah.
So, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as Boggs. Like I do.
See us part by the church. That's all we're doing.
So, but yeah, you guys. And then Candace says, "I'm not a good DJ." You're fine. Look, we don't even really play music while they're running because when you do that, then you can't use the videos like on the interwebs because everybody gets all like crazy about copyright.
A good DJ name for Candace.
DJ
broke butt.
He's silly. Yeah. So, but yeah, don't worry about it. Just play something, anything, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Nobody knows. We had
Don't
a great
feel the
time.
pressure. So
There was no complaints.
yeah. Hey, we had a great weekend. We appreciate everybody who was with us, and we'll see you guys next week in the graveyard. We will hop on and do a live next week one night and give you some more information about that, what that looks like.
Keep guessing, you'll win some tickets.
All right. Bye, you guys. Have a good night.
Thank y'all.